Hello everyone and welcome back to KTG Armory. Today we are going to be looking at a kit that I have put together for quite some time and been teasing on the channel, but today we're going to give it its full attention, and that is going to be a United Kingdom Special Operations Counter-Terrorism kit, particularly one based off of what we see in use by 22 SAS. Now, the SAS will be the ones responding to a lot of terror threats and attacks within the UK because unlike the United States, which has the Posse Comitatus Act, the UK is able to deploy military troops on their own domestic territory. And that's why you see 22 SAS responding to a lot of these terror attacks, being the ones to go in, try and get these guys after maybe they've fled the scene, or just on site right there, trying to contain the damage as much as possible and prevent other people from getting hurt, really putting themselves in harm's way. Now, what I'm going to say, and welcome back to the British accent, a few of y'all said it was not that bad, so I'm going to try it again. What we're going to see here is something that I really wanted to put together because you see in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 a counterterrorism mission called Clean House, and a lot of people love that mission. I love that mission, incredible mission. However, the kit and gear worn by 22 SAS in that mission is all completely wrong. I don't know why they thought they were supposed to go that way. I don't know why Call of Duty ever looks, I don't even think they ever look at actual photos of these operators that they're trying to put in their games, because that kit and gear that they were using was completely rubbish, it was just terrible. It looked drippy as hell. I will admit that. It looked incredibly drippy, it looked amazing, it was, you know, the tactical and all of that, but it was so completely off of what 22 SAS actually uses when they do counterterrorism operations or when they are even just operating in general, that I really felt I needed to do this video, just kind of clear the air, make sure we know what 22 SAS actually is using as opposed to the rubbish that was put out in that video game. So what we'll start off with is the uniform. So the uniform that UKSF is wearing is a custom version of Cry's Army Custom Combat Uniform. They got that in the field set as well as the combat set. Now, a lot of foreign soft did this. They went to Cry and they said, hey, we like what you're doing with the combat sets and the field sets. We have a few minor tweaks we'd like to see. Can you do that for us? And Cry Precision went, absolutely. If you give us money, we'll do anything you want. Maybe not anything, but you get the point. Now, in terms of uniforms, you can use either the custom British version or just the regular Cry AC set. Both of them work. In this instance, it's not like the UK was only using their custom stuff. They would pick up some generic AC combat sets and field sets every so often to supplement the custom things they've got. The other thing that you will primarily see when it comes to UKSF CT operations is they're just in plain clothes, because oftentimes, you know, no one plans for a terrorist attack, and so the 22 SAS is on standby, ready to respond. When something happens, they go, all right, let me just grab my kit and go. And so they don't have time to often change into a combat uniform. They're just gonna wear their jeans, their shirts, whatever it was they're wearing. You see a lot of Fjallraven pants as well as just random t-shirts and things thrown into the mix. And that is indicative of the fast response time that 22 SAS can give to a counterterrorism threat. However, if maybe it's the immediate threat has been contained, but now they're going to actually go after someone in another area, they're doing a direct action mission to try and get someone who's fled the scene and they're a prime suspect, you may see them then change into their military uniforms to be a little more recognizable by the public and law enforcement when things are happening. That way, if stuff goes kinetic real quick, it's a lot easier to go, ah, that guy's wearing multicam, he's probably on my side, as opposed to, okay, he's in civilian clothing, he's got a lot of gear on, he looks like he could be military, but he's wearing civvies. I'm not entirely sure if that's just a guy who threw on some kit to try and blend in. We'll take a look at the weapons next, see kind of what they are using. So, obviously, the UK swapped over for their special forces to the L119A2. But this isn't a video on the L119. We're just gonna give you a brief overview of what I've got on here and kind of what you saw or what you were seeing at that time with UKSF. So on the back, obviously they're great lovers of Magpul. You got the Magpul STR stock over here. It adds a nice little bit of extra cheek weld when you're shouldering the rifle. Moving forward, you've got the ACOG. Now, the ACOG started getting phased out more so in favor of the Comp M4 and then the Aimpoint T2. I have an Aimpoint T2 here on a Reptilium mount. You didn't really see the Reptilium mount all that much, so I decided against putting it on there. I mean, you do see the Aimpoint T2 quite often, but it's generally just on its standard mount or on a GG&G mount. So I decided for today I would go with the classic ACOG. I don't have the little red dot on the top because personally I don't like it. I don't like shooting with my head up. I prefer kind of getting a nice cheek weld onto the rifle. So that's why I decided to remove the little, red dot that sits up here. Moving forward, we do see this often though with UKSF, and it's because the L119 has that monolithic upper receiver. The laser unit is pushed to the back, and it can be because it's going to not lose zero being there on the back because this upper receiver is all one piece, and they put the pressure pad and everything up front. It just allows a little bit better ergonomics, I feel, in my opinion. You do see the laser unit up front, but you do often see it in the back, and you're able to then grip up here where your flashlight is. The flashlight is just an M600. I wish I had the M620V. I don't, unfortunately. I still need to find one. They're incredibly hard to find now because they're a legacy flashlight. So I don't have that. So I just have a regular M600. And then up front, I have the legacy Surefire FH556 can. I do not have the correct can though for this time period. So what you would see is a upgraded version or a modernized version of this can around this time, 2017, 2018. But I just threw that on here because we're not getting into the rifle today. We're just doing a quick overview. For pistols, they're using Glock 19s. This is obviously, again, airsoft. Gay! Like y'all have seen in all of my other videos. This is also airsoft, right? No one get their panties in a wad. But that is the weapons out of the way. Why don't we move on, I guess, to, since I've already got the holster in hand, move on to the belt setup. All right, so for the belt setup, we'll start first with the holster. So obviously Glock 19, we're gonna need a Glock 19 holster. And so what I've got is the Safariland 6354DO. This is a light and optic compatible holster, and you are seeing this as the primary holster for UKSF. This is a preferred holster. It's a great holster. I've had this one for a long, long time and very much like it. Now in terms of belt setups, UKSF is using Crye's Ensemble, I guess you could say. You do see a little bit though of their homebrewed stuff. C2R has a lot of kit that will go to Hereford and Poole. Generally speaking, it's all Crye precision when it comes to a lot of these things, unless you're going a little more personal purchase, which is what this would be. So generally what the belt should be is a Crye MRB 1.0. What I've got here is not a Crye MRB. This is more of a Ronin style or Mil-Spec Taylor style shooter's belt. This is a old shooter's belt that I have had for a long, long, long time. It's broken in nicely, and that's why I continue to use it. It does not have a climb rated buckle on the front though, so I would not be using this mountaineering. So the first thing I want to point out that I do not have and that I should have is two S-Tac pistol pouches. You will see that quite often, at least one, most likely two pistol pouches on the belt as a reload for your handgun. I unfortunately do not have those in multicam. I have them in Ranger Green, but my TISM would just not allow me to put it on a otherwise completely multicam setup. I've got a rifle reload mag pouch. What you see generally is S-Tac, although you do see TYR. You've seen these as well as the ones with the integrated pistol pouch on the side. Moving further, got a Crye frag grenade pouch. Now this one I could use for handcuffs. I could use it for additional medical if I wanted to, because obviously this is a CT kit. You're responding to a terrorist attack, something that has happened, people are hurt, and so you may want to be carrying a little more medical on you than just what you would need, maybe some boo-boo things, stuff like that, to assist other people when you get there. In regards to the medical, on the back, the UK, the SAS and SBS, they both love using the 9022B from LBT. This is a blowout med kit. So the way this is supposed to work, there is a small latch right here. You grab that, you rip it down, and then the med kit will basically fall free down into your hand, and then you can kind of give that to whoever might be working on you or whoever can just easily get it out of your kit. It is not meant to be repacked once it is out. It is meant to just be a quick solution to get all the stuff you need out of the med pouch, and then once you're in a safe environment, that can be repacked at leisure. Before we move away from kind of the medical, I do want to touch on one thing I forgot to mention with the uniforms. UKSF, one of their SOPs seems to be that they stage a tourniquet in one of their shoulder pouches with the end sticking out. You see this actually quite a lot across a lot of different units. I've seen it used with Marine Recon, seen it with American SF, seen it with Delta, and just random people. A lot of people will be using this sort of SOP. It's really nice because you can quickly run up to someone and go, "Where's your tourniquet?" And they go, "Look at my arm," and it's right there that you can just grab, rip it out, and apply it. It can get caught up on some things, particularly your rifle and stuff, if you don't stage it properly, but that is something you do see often, is the tourniquet staged in that back pouch. Moving forward a little bit more, we have our Blue Force Gear boo-boo pouch. Now, the boo-boo pouch is very, very nice because it does handle all of your boo-boos and other things that might, you know, you need to save yourself from, because if we don't have Skittles and things, we don't know how we're gonna survive the day. But we've got our boo-boo kit. This would be more of maybe admin things, maybe some extra pens, handcuff keys, maybe handcuff cutters, stuff like that. Moving forward again, you got your chem lights. Obviously, if you're going into a room, you break one of these off, you crack it, go, "Hey, we cleared this room. We are good to go." Moving forward again, on this side, just my gloves. I've got some mechanics gloves right there. Gloves are really a personal purchase thing, so whatever the operator wants to use is what they are going to use. But that is the belt kit out of the way, and I think we will move to the helmet before we get to the meat and potatoes of this video, and that is going to be the plate carrier. But let's get into the helmet. So headgear, I've got here my Peltor Comtac 3s. This is a dual comm setup, which is nice because I can run 2 radios. I was not running 2 radios on this one, I was running a single one, so I just had the single down lead going. This is not entirely correct though when it comes to comms units for UKSF. Generally what UKSF is going to be using is the Peltor XPI. That was a comms setup developed for European soft, so the Norwegians going to be seen using it, the Swedes, the UK is obviously going to be using it. And so the Comtac 3s, I think we have seen a few of the generic Comtacs roll around, but to be more accurate, I would want to be using Peltor XPI Comtacs. Now for the helmet. I really like UKSF helmets because there are a lot of like no frills, we know what we need, we're gonna go for it. So the base helmet is gonna be a OpsCore Maritime Ballistic with a multicam hydro dip. I do not have a multicam hydro dipped OpsCore Maritime, so I'm just gonna be leaving this cover on there for the moment, but that is good because you're gonna see them running a First Spear helmet cover. You see either the hybrid or the solid stretch. I think the solid stretch is seen a little bit more than the hybrid, but both of them are seen. Over here, we've got just a generic Union Jack in multicam with IR capability, because of course we are running nods up front. On the back, we've got a OpsCore counterweight. These are really nice because it counterbalances, counterweight's its name, the nods up front and allows the helmet to sit a little more evenly on your head and distribute that weight a little bit better, save your neck from maybe 4 or 5 months of pain. It's not gonna be much. These are still ballistic helmets, they're still relatively heavy. Up top, we've got a Hellstar 6. This is a IR or white light capable strobe. Generally, you're gonna be seeing it operating in IR. Up front, we've got our PVS 31s on a L4G24 mount. Generally speaking, you're seeing UKSF using the dark earth color as opposed to the kind of like that silvery pinky one. Then on the other side, we've got our MPLS light. These are really helpful for after kind of everything has died down. You're able to come in, it's got a red or a white light, and you're able to kind of work a little bit more admin things, give you just a little bit better visibility as opposed to trying to work through your nods. But with the helmet out of the way, let's get into, like I said, the meat and potatoes of this, and that is going to be the plate carrier setup. All right, now for the main ensemble, our plate carrier or our second line. Now, our base plate carrier is going to be a Cry JPC 2.0. Up front, this is where you'll start to see one of the brands that UKSF loves to use, and that is going to be Blue Force Gear. They love their Blue Force Gear pouches and items, so I've got a Blue Force Gear admin pouch up here up front. And the reason I have this here is primarily to allow me to have a little bit more things that would be needed specifically on maybe a counterterrorism operation. So I've got admin things such as pens and Sharpies. I've got a multi-tool. Pliers are always good to have. And then I've got a pair of flex cuffs as well over here in the back for me right up front. So that way, whenever I come up on someone, if I need to quickly take them into custody or detain them, I can take these out real quick and throw them on there. I would have more, obviously, in another pouch on my back where a buddy could access them or something of that sort. Throw all that back in there, and then obviously got a notebook for if I need to be taking notes and things on stuff. Now, of course, I'm pretty sure y'all know, but I'm gonna preface it. I am in no way a member of 22 SAS, nor am I, actively involved in counterterrorism operations. When I say what I would need, what I'm trying to communicate is the way someone would think about approaching the situation and then how that would work. I'm in no way trying to claim that I am anything that I am not. We'll move over to the left side first. So we've got our radio. UK, SAS, SBS are often using the PRIC 148. You see the PRIC 152 start to kind of transition in, but the 148 was still being used kind of up until 2022. So I've got that one in there along with a U94 V2 PTT. Left-hand side, we've got another Blue Force Gear pouch, the Blue Force Gear 10 speed. These are really nice, like I mentioned in the Battlefield 6 video, because you can kind of throw anything in here. So if I wanted to put more flex cuffs in here, I wanted to put flashbangs in here, I felt I might need some more magazines, those could go in there. But if I don't feel like I need any of that, I can just take it all out and it sits nice and snug against the cummerbund, really not protruding at all, getting in the way of my arms as I'm moving or maneuvering. And that's what I really like about the Blue Force Gear pouches. On the back, we've got a turtle pouch. And then this is what I was told to do by some of my UKSF aficionados, and they said what you should probably do is find a random Temu police patch that UKSF will just slap on there in a vain attempt to say they are not military and they're actually police. Don't know why they do that. It might just be something from, higher up in command being like, throw a police patch on there and people will think you're police, and the guys just go, okay, cool. So that's why that is there. It's a generic pouch that you can, or a generic patch that you can find online, nothing crazy. Now, one thing I do want to mention, and this is something you see quite often before you saw a lot of the zip-on pouches and things happen, is this back panel setup. So this was a very common back panel setup for UKSF, and what it is a Blue Force Gear medium or large pouch on the back, and then a Blue Force Gear 10 speed up front up top. And generally what you're seeing with this is you would put flashbangs or bangers in the back up here, and then this would be like that turtle pack, kind of a general purpose pouch for flex cuffs, maybe extra admin things. If you needed additional medical, it could go in there. And this is a very common setup that you saw, and primarily because this could be all accessed by another team member who would be behind you. If you're coming up on a door, they can grab the flashbang out of here, show it to you, got a flashbang, they can flashbang the room before you go in. Or if you're needing like, hey, we're rocking up on something, I need more flex cuffs and things can be stuck in here or over here in the back. But this is a really cool and very UK back panel setup. You don't see it as often anymore. They've kind of transitioned over really into a lot of the zip-on panels and assaulter style zip-on panels as opposed to the packs that basically are this, just not mollied directly on. But I really like this panel setup. I think it's kind of unique to UKSF, and so I wanted to put that on there, showcase it to y'all, let you know what it was, maybe what it might be used for. On the sides too, I forgot to mention, we have side plate pouches on either side. Over on the other side, just a SBS pouch. You can hold an additional, come on you, magazine in there. You can also throw, if you needed, a regular sized water bottle or something like that. Really very versatile pouches, and that's kind of what you're seeing a lot with the kit in general is the versatility. When you're coming up on a terrorist situation or a terror attack has happened, you don't exactly know what it is that you're going to be facing. So having your kit built out in a way that you can kind of show up, figure out what's going on, and then go, okay, this is what's happening, I need XYZ. I've got the pouches and things that I can quickly stuff stuff in and then go and handle that situation. The only other thing up front, we have got just a regular Cry Kangaroo shingle that allows for our triple magazine insert, and then a Union Jack up front, because everyone's got to know who you are and what country you're in and be proud of where you're from. But everyone, that is the quick overview of a UKSF CT kit from about 2017 to 2022. But everyone, thank you so very much for watching me. If you found this at all mildly entertaining or informational, by all means, hit that like and subscribe button. If you found this to be incredibly cringe and terrible, please leave that hurtful comment down in the comments section. I will read it at about 4 p.m. and decide, you know, what am I doing with my life? And then as the day drags on, just get further and further depressed by the meanness and depravity of the internet. But everyone, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate your support. This channel is brought to you by you liking and subscribing and, you know, leaving those mean, hurtful comments. But I really do appreciate all the support I've been receiving. Thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.